The Church and Freemasonry, the secret February 16 meeting in Milan. On February 16, 2024, representatives of the main Italian Masonic lodges and a number of influential Catholic prelates gathered in Milan for a day of study. The seminar, sponsored at the Ambrosianum Foundation by the Group for Socio-Religious Research and Information, was attended by the three Grand Masters of Italian Freemasonry: Stefano Bisi for the Grand Orient of Italy, Luciano Mali for the Grand Lodge of Italy, of the Alums, and Fabio Vinzi for the Grand Regular Lodge of Italy. On the Catholic side, Archbishop Mario Delpini of Milan, Cardinal Francisco Coco Palmerio, former president of the Pontifical Council for Legislative Texts, Franciscan theologian Father Zbigniew Ziecki, and Bishop Antonio Stagliano, president of the Pontifical Academy of Theology, participated in the meeting. Archbishop Delpini gave the opening address and Cardinal Coco Palmero the closing one. The meeting was behind closed doors, but the relevance of the participants leaked its contents, which Riccardo Cascioli first brought to light in the New Daily Compass on February 19th. On February 20th, the website of the Grand Orient of Italy in turn carried the full report of Grand Master Bisi, who has led Italy's leading Masonic organization for 10 years. In the course of its more than 300 years of existence, no institution has been opposed, fought, misrepresented, besmirched, and so much feared as universal Freemasonry. BC said, criticizing for this the Catholic Church, which has seen Freemasonry as a potential competitor in the spiritualization and elevation of man, but forgetting to say that it was precisely Freemasonry that has opposed, fought, misrepresented, and besmirched the Church over the past 3 centuries. Yeah, the so-called spiritualization and elevation of man sounds very New Agey, like the New Age one world, New World Order religion, the coexist religion, where they want to unite all faiths and all world religions into one under the realm of the Antichrist and his beast system. I think this would be a religion of the beast, of the serpent, of the snake, the brotherhood of the dragon, represented by the Ouroboros symbol, or the dragon eating its own tail, the snake eating its own tail. It will be a digital system, because that infinity symbol, it's also represented in the Metaverse logo and in plenty of other company and corporation logos. It's symbolic of a system that will never die out, that will rejuvenate and renew itself. And we already have artificial intelligence technology doing that. It gets better and better and more personalized based off of the data that we feed it, because we give it permission to study our thoughts, to study our content, the things we click on, the things that we like and watch, etc. So it gets better at figuring this out and delivering more personable news and content to keep us engaged, to keep our mind, to keep our attention online and not outside in the real world, because I think eventually they want us connected 24/7 online into the internet, into technology, into the metaverse, in their web, and they're the spider, in their internet, in their net where we're all interconnected. The prefix inter means alongside, among, between. Interconnected, internationalism. I fear that internationalism won't be brought about by illegal immigrants, even though they do have a role to play. Internationalism will be brought about by the internet. The internet has us all connected. And universal Freemasonry. The word Catholic, derived via late Latin Catholicus from the ancient Greek adjective Katholikos, universal, comes from the Greek phrase on the whole, according to the whole in general, and it's a combination of the Greek words about and whole. The first known use of Catholic was by the Church Father Ignatius of Antioch in his letter to the Cyrenians. In the context of Christian ecclesiology, it has a rich history and several usages. So both terms mean universal. And we also have Freemasonry, which universal co-masonry is an ancient Masonic fraternity that includes men and women of every race, nationality, and religion, united under the banner of Freemasonry. Here in America, we were founded by Freemasons. We have a Freemasonic heritage, a Freemasonic culture. Our ideas of democracy, equality, women's rights, civil rights, etc., it all comes from Freemasonry. Out of many, one. These people, you can be a Freemason no matter what race, skin color, or what walk of life you come from, they say. And I fear that what we have happening in America is not by accident, it's by design, because I speculate that we were called the New World during European colonialism. We were called the New World because it preludes to the eventual New World Order. I think that Freemasons used the United States of America as the New World, the precursor to the New World Order, to eventually set the stage for a New World Order. And our country, America, will be responsible for bringing that into fruition. That's my speculation. And we were also founded on Enlightenment ideals. And these ideals are humanitarianism, equality, diversity, inclusion, elevation of man, spiritualization of man. That sounds a lot like the Renaissance movement too. And that came after the Enlightenment period, and the Renaissance movement started in Italy. This enlightenment of man that they seek is different from it's the light of Lucifer, the illumination of Lucifer. Basically, seeing yourself as one with everyone and everything. That you're made of the same atoms, of the same stardust as all the stars in the galaxy, in the sky. Aleister Crowley said, as above, so below, as within, so without, as the soul, so the universe. He said basically it's the finite conjoining with the infinite. the macro conjoining with the micro, the New World Order, the One World Order, where you're one with everything. It's basically that age-old quest of the serpent, Lucifer, the snake in the Garden of Eden wanting to become God or to equate himself to the God of the Bible. Why is the Masonic Lodge beautiful, and why don't church authorities like it? Explained BC. Because under the same sky which represents creation, each man is a brother to the other. You see how they want universal brotherhood, universal bondage? The bond of brotherhood is independent of faith. Russell Brand, in his prayer at the TPUSA event after Erica Kirk announced him on stage, be careful, listen to how he prayed. In the first few seconds of that prayer, he says that he basically says the same thing, and he's a Freemason too. He's a 33rd degree Freemason. He has 33 tattoo on his wrist, and he also embarked on a 33rd spiritual tour back in 2021. He called it Spiritual Enlightenment. Charlie Kirk had him, whenever he was alive, he had him for a press conference too. Supposedly Russell Brand is a Christian now. You know, and there's a lot of speculation that Charlie Kirk was a Freemason too. But Russell Brand talked a lot about we're all one. Or I can play that clip on YouTube right now, but I don't have my settings. I only have it, the volume, the audio, I only have it for as a microphone, not for audio from the computer, so you probably can't even hear it. But you can YouTube that video, and he says like we're all one under the world, we're all a brotherhood and stuff. It's crazy. It is only necessary to believe in the great architect of the universe. The great architect of the universe. When is the God of the Bible or Jesus Christ? When are they called the great architect of the universe? The starry sky is the same for the Buddhist, for the Catholic, for the Waldensian, for the Islamic, for all those who believe in the Supreme Being. Absolute truths and walls of the mind do not belong to us, and for us, they must be torn down, and this is their goal. The Freemasons are behind mass migration. The Jews and the Freemasons, they all work together. And that's why it's called the Judeo-Masonic conspiracy theory. Adolf Hitler, not only did he want to get rid of Zionists, but he also wanted to kill, he also got rid of all the Masonic Grand Lodges in Germany and in other European countries too. They tore them down. They marked them all with graffiti and confiscated all of their belongings, etc. I have a book on Nazi Germany, and it says a lot of this stuff too, that they were against Freemasons as well. For BC, who had the effrontery to ask the Pope to gather around the monument of the heretic and apostate Giordano Bruno, among the truths that must be torn down is, of course, the Catholic faith, which presents itself as absolute and universal. BC's wished that it be declared that membership in a Masonic lodge is reconcilable with membership in the Catholic faith is nothing more than a request to the Church to turn its back on its doctrine and join the Masonic, Gnostic, relativist pantheon. And the fact that the Grand Master recalled the names of Cardinal Rabasi and Cardinal Martini as patrons confirms this impression. I see on this world stage, you know how William Shakespeare said that all the world is stage and the men and women merely players. You know, in the Freemasonic lodges, you see their tile, it's black and white, and you see that symbolism in the entertainment industry. Music, movies, TV shows. and it represents that both sides are controlled by the Freemasons. Good, evil, black and white. Black magic, white magic. And so I see that symbolic of the Catholic Church. Right now on the world stage, we see the Catholic Church versus Freemasons. White magic versus black magic. But at the end of the day, they're all controlled by the same secret society. They all want the same thing. BC recalled that Cardinal Martini was at home in Masonic circles and praised Cardinal Rabassi's well-known article, Dear Brother Masons, published in, how the hell do you pronounce that? I Sol 24 or on February 14, 2016. Their pioneering work seems to want to be carried on by Cardinal Coco Palmiro, who in the Milan seminar said, among other things, 50 years ago there was less knowledge, but things have moved on, and I hope that these meetings do not stop here. I wonder if we cannot think of a permanent panel, even at the level of authorities, to discuss things better. Archbishop Stagliano, for his part, criticized the November 13, 2023 document of the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith, signed by Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, and approved ex audientia by Pope Francis, according to which it is forbidden for Catholics to join Masonic lodges because of the irreconcilability between Catholic doctrine and Freemasonry. Pope Francis, though, didn't this guy talk about like a new world order and being a global citizen? Yeah, look at this. Controlled opposition. Later stories defend the planet. Pope Francis urges world leaders not to waste chances for radical climate action ahead of a weekend filled with historic summits. The Pope urged leaders to make radical decisions. Okay, I think that's Pope Leo had said. Pope Francis inspires global citizenship. This document confirms the Church's centuries-old condemnation, which apparently was only recalled during the seminar by Father Zbigniew Ciecki. But we will have to wait for the publication of all the speeches to be able to make an accurate judgment on the proceedings. What is certain is that, according to the Grand Lodge of Italy of the Alum, Ancient, Free, and Accepted Masons, the meeting culminated in a unanimous consensus on the advisability of establishing a permanent discussion panel. It is worth mentioning at this point that relativism constitutes the soul of Freemasonry, although it does not encapsulate its entire essence. Freemasonry, in fact, presumes to be a universal religion, the repository of a secret of which the Freemason gradually becomes aware through the rites, symbols, and texts he assimilates, but also through the atmosphere he breathes and the lodges in which he is placed. It should be added that there is no such thing as a bad, atheistic, and anti-clerical Freemasonry, and a good religious and spiritualist Freemasonry. As one often hears people repeat, the distinguishing between the Latin left wing and the Anglo-American right wing, Freemasonry. In reality, in all lodges, the first degrees are overlaid with Masonic high degree systems called rites, which are characterized by magical and Kabbalistic content. Not all affiliates of Freemasonry know its ultimate ends, learned only from the initiated to the highest degrees who swear under penalty of death not to reveal them. But behind the different rites and obediences, there is the same worldview, diametrically opposed to that of the Catholic Church. John Claude Lozak, whose studies on the occult origins of Freemasonry show that it inherits faith and customs from Gnosticism. And Father Paulo Ciano has devoted in-depth studies to Masonic Luciferism, refuting the thesis of those who believe that it is cultivated only by fringe, marginal Freemasonry, but is alien to regular Freemasonry. Father Ciano himself, who has devoted many essays to Freemasonry, including recent ones in Correspondenza Romana, in a polite controversy with Gaetano Masciolo, author of La Tiara e la Logia, Freemasonry versus the Church, Faith and Culture, Verona 2023, showed that Freemasonry is far from declining but is still alive and operational. The danger is to divert attention away from Freemasonry in order to pursue forms of neo-complotery, which denounce the action of plutocratic elites and cabals of different kinds, forgetting the presence of what Leo, I don't know what number that is in Roman numerals, in his encyclical Custodi di Quella Fide of December 8, 1892, calls a sect which, after 19 centuries of Christian civilization, strives to bring down the Catholic Church. And Freemasonry no longer poses a threat. Even meetings like the one in Milan find their own reason to take place.